Hello, guys. We are live. Welcome to the Bags to Riches podcast. I'm your host, Zach Ginn. We had a last minute cancellation for our guest, and I decided to just do a first solo podcast today talking about how to make six figures wholesaling in extremely competitive markets. Again, I am not shy when it comes to actually wholesaling in a extremely competitive market. So I think this is really cool. I think a solo podcast for the Bags to Riches be really interesting to do. I can definitely interact more with the audience and the guests, and I think it'd be really cool to do. So right now, I'm just going to go over how to wholesale literally in any market in the United States, competitive or not. I'm going to share some of my secrets. Again, I'm in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It is definitely one of the most competitive markets in Florida. It doesn't have the biggest population, but if you do the amount of wholesalers to deals ratio and the amount of wholesalers to actual people in the population, Port St. Lucie is actually one of the biggest ones. So I'm going to go solo here. We are live. So we're just going to go over it. So this is going to be a lot more instructional. I think it's going to be a lot better. You guys already know my story, so we can get into it. So without further ado, let's not waste any time. So before we get into it, guys, again, this is a live podcast. So remember, comment below your questions that you have for me, anything you can do, and really any questions you have. And love to answer it about wholesaling in competitive markets. So our acquisitions guy, the average, we usually got to deal with about 6 or 7 people every single time we do this, and every appointment. So it's not fun for the average wholesaler, but we overcome it and we make 7 figures. But this is strictly for 6 figures by yourself in a crazy competitive market. So guys, remember, comment below your questions, smash that like button, and subscribe. I'm telling you, the more people that do that, the more people that hop on here live, and we can get going there. So smash that like button, subscribe, and we'll get into it. And let's get into it, guys. So let's start about it. Competitive markets. Everyone says my market is super saturated. It sucks. There's too many wholesalers. I really can't make anything work. And here's the truth. You need to have an abundance mindset. And everyone's heard about having an abundance mindset before. And it sounds really cliche, but really, if you think there's enough deals in your market, you will do deals. If you think there's just too much competition and you're just going to suck and you're not going to do well, then you're going to suck at it. So you really need to have a mindset shift when it comes to saying something is a competitive or, just too competitive, or there's too much saturation in the market. Everyone keeps saying that. So here's some of my tips here for actually wholesaling in extremely competitive markets. So the number one thing, when you're dealing with a bunch of wholesalers in your competitive market, one of the most important things is going to be rapport. Rapport is one of my favorite things I talk about, and it's one of the secrets on why my company does so well in wholesaling, why we lock up contracts for a virtual wholesaling operation so well, and honestly, just how we do our business is we spend so much time on rapport. It is disgusting, guys. It's like we spend so much time just with our acquisitions person, training them, making sure when they're talking to the seller that they're truly trying to uncover and help their situations. Again, this isn't a buy and sell game like everyone thinks in real estate investing. It's really solving people's problems in real estate wholesaling. And that's how we do so well in such competitive markets is we just focus on the consumer. We focus so much on just providing the best service out there that we do well. Just think of Jeff Bezos. I love Jeff Bezos. He's in Amazon. He has to compete with Walmart, eBay. Why does he do so well? Does he focus on his competition, and does he just really worried about what the other guy's doing? No, he focuses on his customer first. That is probably one of the most important things he does. He is so customer driven and customer centric. That's the only thing he cares about. He does so well with all the competition around him. And I've really taken that approach when just building rapport, trying to help people's problems and really focusing on their needs. And it's really been one of the best driving forces in my real estate wholesaling business. So it's absolutely amazing. And let's see here. So rapport is definitely really big here. Thank you guys so much for hopping on, getting the questions going. So we got Ryan. He says, woo, woo. We got some other great questions. So it's exciting. So rapport is really important, guys. So when thinking about rapport, remember the Ford method, FORD. Ford basically stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. That's basically it. So when you're talking to a seller, obviously you want to qualify him. And when you're qualifying him, you got to think about the 4 questions, which has been the same 4 questions for 40 years now in real estate wholesaling. And that's focusing on the person's motivation for selling the property, their time frame for actually selling it, and the condition of the property, and most importantly, what's the price? What are they looking to actually sell the property for? So really got to think about that. And honestly, at the end of the day, you got to ask and get those 4 questions out. But when you're doing it, you can build rapport, build a trust with the actual seller, and you can get a way better price at the end, guys. I'm telling you, I've spent hours talking to sellers eye to eye, not even talking about real estate, just talking about their problems and really how I can help them become better real estate, sellers. So we really focus hard on the rapport. And if we ever get stuck on trying to build rapport, I think about the Ford method. So, oh shoot, where should I ask this? So F, how's your family? You talk about that. You see pictures when you're actually physically going on these appointments. You see a picture here, you see them and maybe a wife, their kids, their grandkids, dogs, fishing with their other spouses. So it's a really interesting thing to do. And I obviously just love the family part of it. I'm a big family person, so I think it connects with me pretty well. Oh, occupation, what do they do for a living? Chances are, if you're dealing, let's say with a school teacher, you probably know a school teacher, or someone in your family is a school teacher, someone in your family maybe is a police officer in the military. Any of those occupations you can really connect with, it'd be really big. So if you got a big family, usually someone in your family has some crazy job, and you can really do the same thing. So that's what I'd recommend on the occupation side. And then on the R, that's recreation. I love fishing, talk about sports. Those are probably the top ones to do, like really popular hobbies where you're at. Like maybe if you're in Houston, Texas, you guys could talk about the Houston Texans or the Astros. And then, you could talk about fishing, talk about sports. I don't know. What do they do in Houston? They ride horses or bull riding? I don't even know. So just whatever is really popular there, hunting, fishing, really the big hobbies of the day there would be really well. Knitting, if it's an old person, if they love to knit. Those are the things that I will most likely try to build with these sellers. So that's what I do to actually get the recreation side. And the last is D, which is dreams. And the most important part about dreams is you really want to focus on what do they need to really get out of things. Is selling this house the most important thing to them right now? Where are they trying to be in the next 2 to 3 years? And most importantly, how can I associate them selling this property to them fulfilling their dreams? And I really like asking them about their dreams, because when I ask them about their dreams, it gets me closer and closer to actually getting that deal sold. And when you get that deal sold, it's great. You make money, we make money, we're solving people's problems. So that's really what I want to focus on with the rapport part. So I think I exhausted how to build rapport, especially with a lot of competition. So never really, I'm not a big guy when it comes to competition. If I know there's like 5 other investors there, I'm not a big person on like just talking trash about other competition or about other real estate wholesalers out there. I'm not the biggest person on that. I think that creates a scarcity mindset, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. So I'm never going to tell people, oh, you need to trash your competition, or tell them how bad of a person they are and how you're a great person they're not. Just be such a kind and caring person that seller will want to go with you over anybody else. And really, that's it. I'm not here to bid my property up. I get $40,000, $50,000 deals. I'm not competing with guys who are going to pay more and make 10 grand. That's not how I do. I'm such a caring person. That's what I do to get the most deals possible. So building rapport is absolutely one of the most important things when it comes to real estate investing, and honestly, just wholesaling and beating your competition up. So that is number one. Guys, there are so many things when it comes to doing well in competitive markets. So if you're in a competitive market, write this stuff down. We got a lot more topics to talk about here. So this is a little more of a long form podcast. I love all the people showing the love here on the comment section. So keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. All right, let's see here. So next thing we need to talk about is consistency. So when you have an uber, super competitive market, Port St. Lucie, Miami, Broward, Palm Beach County, those are the other competitive markets that I like to do a lot of deals in. Really, consistency is everything. I mean, we just did a $40,000 deal in Palm Beach County, which is one of the most competitive markets in the whole entire country, pound for pound. I mean, some of my Phoenix friends are just gonna be arguing with me over this, but Palm Beach is tough, guys. And we just did a $40,000 deal there. This guy's in Phoenix doing $40,000 deals today. So don't be too worried about the competition or how saturated a market is. It's really about how consistent you are with your marketing. I figured that out with probates. Sometimes you won't get a deal for a month or two, and then the next month you get 4 probate deals. So consistency is one of the biggest difference between the top real estate wholesalers in super competitive markets and ones that aren't. So I would think about consistency so much. And honestly, the more consistent you are with your marketing, the more consistent you are with your acquisitions training, the more consistent you are with your networking with other wholesalers and really trying to build your brand around sellers, the more consistent you are with your follow-ups. Consistency just isn't a marketing thing. I know a lot of YouTubers and gurus out there are talking about consistency is only like a marketing thing and that's what you should focus on, a consistency. Consistency with everything. Get up at the same time in the morning. Make yourself breakfast at the same time or dinner at the same time. Having a consistent schedule. That stuff will help you out. And those are actually the little things that will give you the edge when it comes to just being a better real estate wholesaler. And obviously, in a competitive market, that's something you got to do. So the next one here is market mastery. So market mastery, guys. I don't hear a lot of guys talking about this, and really that's the difference between a lot of really good real estate wholesalers and not. So I've mapped this out just because I see a lot of guys in competitive markets doing really well, and I'm in an extremely competitive market. And I think, what's making me different than a lot of these other guys? And honestly, it's market mastery. I've been in this game for 4 years. Rick, my partner, 17, 18 years, actually my dad. And really, what's the difference between us doing so well in our direct mail campaigns and the average Joe that sends direct mail doesn't do well? Now, obviously, our ad copies pretty amazing, and the guys at Open Letter Marketing help us out really well with that. But with the rapid offers and postcard, but overall, the most important thing is a market mastery. I'm telling you right now, I am cursed and blessed at the same time with an eidetic memory. So I know every street, every corner way of Port St. Lucie basically implanted in my head. So I know what streets do really well. We're dealing with one property on the same street. We're going to do a vlog on it. I have it recorded, but they got to edit and stuff. But we've done this one deal on this certain avenue in Port St. Lucie. It's a street. I'm probably not going to reveal that street because I don't want everyone to go call every single seller on that street. But in the past 2 years, we've done 3 deals on that street, and there's probably 30 houses. That is literally one of the hottest streets and areas in Port St. Lucie. And honestly, it's just because there's certain streets that I get like 60% of my deals in certain zip codes, especially in Port St. Lucie. So really learning your market and really getting really exact. So I know with my marketing dollars, I'll get the best output possible. So I know the certain streets and areas where I can do a little map thing in PropStream where I can pull it up like, oh, get this little neighborhood street over here, get these little neighborhoods of street over here, get that little neighborhood of street over there. And I can do it just because I know my market so well, like the back of my hand, really memorized in my head, that when we do 10,000 postcards and there's like 100,000 like properties out there that even have high equity, I can whittle it down so much that when we only allowed to do 10,000 postcards or 30, 40, 50,000 postcards, they're being used for the most motivated streets, the most motivated zip codes possible. And then the ones that, they do a lot more, then we'll do the whole entire city. We'll do like an extra code, but with direct mail where you need to be as exact and precise as possible. I'm telling you, knowing your market, knowing what works, and really, it's hard for me to talk about this because having market mastery, you just can't learn it. There's no seminar or course you can buy it. It's really just doing thousands of deals in your city. And I said thousands. I didn't say hundreds. I said thousands. Rick's on thousands of Port St. Lucie. I'm at the hundreds. Hopefully I'll hit the thousands soon, but really doing thousands of deals in your city to know what streets and zip codes are automatic for you. It's like playing football or, watching a soccer game or like any kind of sport. It's like, these certain plays work really well. And if you run these plays, these zip codes or these certain streets versus if you do another type of play, you just won't do as well. So I love sports analogies, guys. So I'm always going to talk about sports analogies here. But that's kind of the way I think about it with my marketing. So the SMS, I know the hot ones, the probates on the hot one, and I know which ones sell really well, what my actual sellers want. So having a market mastery is one of the most important things. And when you're talking to a seller and you're talking about that city, they will know if you're like legit or not on it. So when I used to go on appointments, I say used to because we have acquisitions people and all those guys doing it now. We've been having for a little bit now is when I used to go there, I used to tell them about everything about Port St. Lucie just so they knew I'm a local here. I know the city so much, and it really helps us because we have a lot of transplants here in our local city. A lot of people from New Jersey, New York, and they literally just moved here like 2 years ago. And me having that market mastery, talking about, hey, I went to high school here. I wrestled at the local high school wrestling team, and it just really kind of builds that rapport up. And you just having that market mastery, talking about the things 2 streets over. Oh, did you go to the pirate festival? Talking about like tiny little knickknack things like that, someone that's doing like a virtual wholesaling thing just can't do. So, you got a Filipino, and no knock on people in the Philippines. They're absolute killers when it comes to acquisitions. But if I had to compete with them, if I know my market so well, I know the local landmarks, I know the big street names around the city, the guy from or gal from the Philippines can't compete with me because I have such a good market mastery that they absolutely just can't compete. They don't know about the pirate festival that we have every year, and really just building that rapport where they know like I'm the local guy, I'm the personal guy. You can run into me at the local grocery store. It's really that personal thing there that just it gives me that slight edge over anyone that's trying to do virtual wholesaling. That it's really one of the things that I do really well. And I kind of look at the other really good wholesalers, 7-figure guys out there, and even guys doing 6 figures in competitive markets. That's what they do. They just action and really just having that market mastery. They've been in the game long enough where they can absolutely crush it. So that's another really big thing, guys, is market mastery. So next here, this is everything I say about saturated markets, hands down, guys, is speed. Speed is absolutely everything when it comes to just being a really good wholesaler in a competitive market is speed. If you got to compete with 8 other guys and they're all chomping at the bit for this like one single deal, speed's going to be everything. And the best like analogy I can really say about why speed's so important for wholesaling is I think about one of the best deals we got last year. We made about 65,000 on a wholesale deal on this one. And really, it was absolutely amazing. It was last summer during the whole COVID pandemic was still going on here. But how did I get this deal? So how did I get 65,000? It was just because of speed. So let me explain this. So we do a lot of direct mail. Rick's going to tell you, I mean, it's no secret of ours is we love direct mail so much. So what we do is we send the regular postcards out. We do the ROS. We send, the offers out there. But really, we send the postcards out. And then on a weekly basis, the average motivated seller gets about 5 to 6 postcards from real estate wholesalers. That's right. They get 6 postcards. So how do I stand out? And here's the problem. If someone's thinking about selling a property, they get 5 or 6 a week. So within a month, they have 30 different postcards. So think about that. How am I going to get a deal out of 30 other people? I hate using this analogy. I know a lot of the guys are going to do it, but I know we actually got some females watching this that love shows like The Bachelor and like HG and like the some of the more reality TV stuff. They got Bachelor Pad. They got all those like Bachelor TV shows, and my sister loves all of them. She makes me watch them sometimes with her. But think about this. If you're watching like The Bachelor, for example, here, and you have, one girl and she's trying to go against like 30 other guys. I can use that analogy because I'm a guy. So you have 30 like single men going after one like bachelorette. How is that one guy going to compete with that person? You got to think about like that. So if that bachelorette is your motivated seller and you got all these wholesalers, what are you going to do? That's exactly what a saturated market is. So how are you going to do it? You got to be speed. You got to be as fast as possible talking to people. You can't wait and say, oh, maybe that person's going to want to go with me, or maybe they're just going to go and sign that contract with me. No, you got to go like as fast as possible to that person, introduce yourself, make sure that you are known. So if you watch those TV shows, when I look at like any TV show, I relate to wholesaling because that's how crazy I am as a person. So just think about that analogy, just about how speed's so important. So back to that deal. So that person had about 8 postcards in their kitchen table, and they decided one day, usually how these motivated sellers go is, that's it. I'm absolutely done. I need to get rid of this property. I have too many tenants in this house. I got to get out of here. And they decided to call all 8 postcards. And guess what happened? Postcard number 1, straight to voicemail. Post number 2, straight to voicemail. Postcard number 3, they had to go through a menu and they had to press all these little buttons, and it was a mess. Postcard 4 was basically Pat Live answered it, and then 5, another investor called, and they answered it, and the other wholesaler said, "Hey, can you meet me on a Friday?" This was on a Monday, and they set an appointment for Friday. And then they called me, and I was number 6 out of 8. And I know all this stuff because after I got the deal sold, I literally like interrogated the seller, and I interrogated her, and I tried to see what was going on with it. So a little crazy, but I do that so I can relay this information back to you. So overall here, so let's think about this. So I was the sixth, I was basically the sixth caller, and they basically called me. And what should I do? I got all the wholesalers setting appointments for Friday. Today's a Monday, and I didn't know what to do. And also put this in your head too, because I have this in my head. I'm talking to realtors send direct mail too. So there's about 2 to 3 direct mail that's sent every single month with realtors. And they called a realtor, and today was a Monday, and they had a realtor set up to see the property and give them their listing estimate on a Tuesday. So time is of the essence. So I get the call. She tells me she's going to meet a realtor tomorrow, and they're really going to tell them how much they think the prices of the property is going to be worth and how much they can list it for. And if you guys know realtors are going to say they can sell it for over what the thing is worth, so they can excite the seller, get them to sign a listing, and just push them down on price. So that's how realtors work in my local market. If you're a realtor, I'm sorry if you got offended, but that's the truth. I'm just going to say it. So what do I do? So I call. She calls me, and I figure it out. She's talking about the realtor going to go Tuesday. I'm like, they're going to put a crazy price in her head. I might lose this deal. Other wholesalers come Friday. I basically say like, hey, I'm actually driving around the neighborhood today. Is it okay if I meet you at like 1:00? And this is like 9 a.m. And she said, no, I can't do that. Sorry. I need to wait for my realtor to talk to me. And then I'm meeting other people, and I just can't do that. And I said, okay, well, can you tell me a little more about the property? And I talked more about her. She had a crazy rapport. I built a crazy rapport with her, and her motivation was off the charts. Like the property was like falling down at the seams. And honestly, she had really high equity. She was just talking about she wanted to get rid of it. And I said, if you tell me how much you want to get rid of this and you want a quick cash sale, I mean, why don't you just go meet me? Why are you waiting so long? And she said, you have a really good point. Yeah, I guess I can meet you at 1. And I got it. I got the meeting at 1. Guess what I did? Met her at 1:00. At 1:30, I got the contract signed for an insanely good price, I have to say. And we ended up buying it, wholesaling it for $65,000. Had a bunch of realtors and guys calling me, threatening that I stole their deal and all that stuff. And they were a mess because I came before them. And poor St. Lucie people are just very jealous people overall. But that speed of me actually going to visit them and visiting her house and really going there before anyone else, that was one of the biggest difference between me getting this deal and anyone else doing it. So that's just a little story. I know that was long and drawn out, but that's why speed is so important for real estate wholesaling in such a competitive market. Is I was extremely kind of tough on her. I was like, I got to meet you like now. Like, we don't know. Like, we got to get this thing done. And I was a little aggressive on it, but I got the deal, and maybe she was going to list it. So, or maybe another wholesaler was going to beat him to the punch. So that's literally why speed is so important, guys. I don't know if I can really talk about speed anymore, but I'm telling you guys, speed's everything when it comes to a saturated and competitive market. And if markets are going to get more competitive and saturated in the future, that's why I'm taking my time on this podcast today, just really hammering it in your head. It seems really rudimentary, but the speed, the rapport, the consistency, the market mastery is so important. So that's one of the top ones to do. So the next one here, yes, wait, there's more, is you got to work smarter, guys. I'm just going to be blunt with you. A lot of you guys are not working smarter. You're just doing the regular methods that the average real estate wholesaler is doing. You're all going after the same tax delinquency list, and you're all going after the same high equity list. And honestly, you're going to be competing with those 8 other people. And I mean, the speed and consistency and the rapport works, but you're still losing deals just, competing with 10 other people. So if everyone's working one way, why don't you just go the other? If everyone's taking a right-hand turn, why don't you just go left? Now, don't go on oncoming traffic, but there's 2 roads, and everyone's just going this road, and no one's going this road. So just go the other road. And what is that road? And this is working smarter. So that road, guys, is literally just going niche. Do extremely niched out lists. So these are lists that absolutely most real estate wholesalers can't get. And they can't get it because they're not educated. They're a real estate wholesaling guru, recorded a course 4 years ago, and they're not going to re-record it because they're just too good for it. And they got these crazy big egos and they're just not going to do it. So it's just being niche lists. And niche lists are one of the best lists that I absolutely do in my competitive real estate wholesaling markets. So I would say some niche markets, some niche marketing tactics to do is eviction lists, water shutoff lists, probates, certain code violations, more or less, tax delinquency. But I think everyone goes after those tax delinquency. Let's see, utility liens lists, credit card lists, actually credit card debt lists. I've seen some other student loan lists. I'm working on it. I'm trying to teach some more people on there. But with PropStream, you are able to actually go after people that have private student loan debt and they might need to sell the property quick. So that's something else. And then some other types of liens and stuff you can do on the property. So doing those specialty, like super, super specialty niche lists is absolutely one of the other big secrets I have for just competing in a crazy competitive and saturated real estate wholesaling market, guys. So that's this part of it. So that's my spiel on actually competing with like other people in that's my spiel. That's how you compete in saturating competitive markets. So this is the portion here where I'm going to talk to the audience and I'm going to see how I can help you guys out in your competitive real estate wholesaling market. So let's see what's going. So Hassan asks, any tips for investors in Tampa? Really don't have many tips in Tampa. Again, Tampa is a completely saturated market. It's one of the most saturated ones in Florida. So what I recommend, again, I'm going to be a broken record, but I don't know what this quote is because I love butchering names and quotes. It's one of my favorite things to do. I guess it's a hobby for me. But really, I would say you just got to be really fast, build a rapport, have the consistency and market mastery speed, and just going niche. That's my tips I can give you. I just literally this little podcast right here on actually how to do it. So that's what I'd recommend. Liam asks, how do you make buyer package and present your deals to cash buyers? In a competitive market, it's very easy to sell your deals to cash buyers. The really hard part is finding the actual discounted properties under contract. So a buyer package, I'll just email Chimp it or just send a text or an email or call my guys. And it's crazy. So Lucian says, my dudes, what's up? Dallas and St. Louis, let's JV. Hey guys, how's it going? Paul asked a pretty good question here. How many leads does it take to get a deal? So in a competitive and saturated market, obviously you're going to need a lot more leads to get a deal. The best way to put that ratio of leads to deals down, going to say it again. You guys are going to like absolutely kill me here, but you guys need to go niche. That's absolutely what you guys got to do. So going niche in your real estate wholesaling operation, definitely one of the best ones in a competitive market. So again, this is a loaded question, Paul, because how many cold calling leads for a deal is extremely different. How many probates letters I got to send out to get a deal. So it's really dependent, guys. I mean, my KPIs are going to be completely different. My North Carolina virtual wholesaling deals, my KPIs on how many leads for a deal is actually a lot less than what I got to do here in my local market. So, guys, I feel like a broken record, but this is just a very loaded question. So, I would say for texting, I need to send at least 10 to 20,000 out, sometimes 40,000 to actually get a really good $40,000, $50,000 deal. So think about it like that. It doesn't matter. What if I told you it took you $100,000 leads to get 100,000 deals and it only cost you $0.01 a lead? You'd still do that, right? So it's a loaded question. You just got to see where your ROI is right on there. And I found that cold calling, direct mail, and SMS are the best ones out there. Hey, how's it going, Mariana? Has a seller ever failed to perform on one of your signed contracts? All the time. And we just sign memorandums if we have to. Again, guys, I'm not a lawyer, tax professional, so don't shoot the messenger here. And guys, if you have a lot of other questions, please keep it competitive market specific. Since I just did a 5.5 hour Q&A. So a lot of your questions are going to be answered there. So if I skip over you, that's because we probably answered that question a couple of days ago on a 5.5 hour But this is a podcast on just doing well in competitive real estate wholesaling markets. But we like memorandums. That's it. So Brandon, what's up? Yeah, awesome. I'm in Houston. Scott's got Dallas buyers. Uh, Liam asks, have you ever wholesaled to create a finance strategy? All the time, but usually we like to really do it ourselves. That's honestly one of the biggest things that we do so well. So doing the stuff yourself is pretty good. Paul asks, how can we crush it as a one-man show and then scale? So it's a lot of one-man show type of thing and scaling in real estate wholesaling. So in a competitive market, it might seem like all these guys have partners and all this money. How do I compete with someone? And honestly, that's a big question a lot of guys ask. It's like, I'm in such a competitive market. There's just so many people just doing so well. How am I going to do it? And you're a one-man show. And honestly, I've been there. I've absolutely been broke, one-man show, trying to get real estate wholesaling done. So what I would say, crushing it as a one-man show, you're going to hate me for saying this, Paul, but it's niching out. Do really niche lists. Do the lists the big real estate wholesalers aren't willing to do. Maybe they're not willing to go to the city and the utility department and pulling all the utility liens. Maybe they're not willing to go out to the code enforcement office and actually get all of the open code violations for high grass. Maybe they're not willing to stick in their car for 4 hours and go drive for dollars and then cold call that list for 2 more hours. You really got to do the hard work, especially as a one-man show with a limited budget to really go well with that. And once you get that traction going, baby, it's really hard to stop it. Then you can hire other people to start pulling this list for you, have drivers for you, have acquisitions people, dispositions. You start handing some of those delegation tasks, and then upping a marketing budget, and then get to 7 figures, even 8 figures a year in real estate wholesaling. I've done a bunch of videos on that too, on actually scaling from 100K to $1 million per year in profit, not revenue, profit. And it's absolutely amazing, guys. So I would 100% tell you, if you're one man operation, go niche, do the things that others won't, so you will have the results that others don't. That is a quote from Inky Johnson, another Eric Thomas guy. But I'm going to say it one more time, guys. If you're a one man operation, you need to do the stuff in wholesaling that others won't, so you get the results that others don't. So think about that. Always an awesome quote. I'm filled with stupid little quotes like that in my head. You can't even get it from me, but it's insane. Patrick from Knott's Berry Farm, California. Let's connect. Flip with Rick. Watch party. I absolutely love it. I really appreciate you showing the love here today. Scott says, we don't know what they do in Houston and we're in Dallas. All righty. Kenny asks, so true. What you're saying today got a long time lead under contract because of the ability rapport built last couple months. Houston in the house. We got all the Houston guys on here. That's sweet. So yeah, Houston's a competitive market, but you got guys like Kenny out here. You got guys like Brandon out here. They're absolutely crushing it in Houston. I mean, there's enough deals to go around, and honestly, you could take some more deals if you want. Just getting niche and really the rapport is everything. And I don't know about you, Kenny, but I'm in I'm not going to call it a Southern culture here in Port St. Lucie, but a lot of people, they're more laid back. They're more like, hey, are you a man of your word? It's really that rapport and knowing that you're a good person that's more important than, let's say, a deal in Broward or maybe even Miami. It's really more laid back, and it's really more about trust and family values. It's weird to talk about, but that rapport is just so much more important in my local city and a lot of people in the Southeast than in like some crazier metro markets. There's markets in the North, the West, the Southwest that just value just good human interaction and just being a man of your word and really going from there versus other people. I'm not going to call anyone out, but you deal with someone in like New York. A lot of New Yorkers out there are really to the point. What's the price? I got no time for this, blah, blah, blah. And they want to bid it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. New York people are absolutely amazing. My grandparents are from New York. So I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. It's just a different type of just culture that's around you. That rapport can be a lot better than, just having more of a slick sales presentation and being a better negotiator. So it's really more about your actual, your actual market. All righty. Devin says this is true. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Joe says, hey, Zach, if the seller's tenant doesn't want to take a cash for keys option and the lease lasts until 2022, they did a 2-year lease, how much of a discount would you give your buyer for this? And it's got to be an absolutely insane one, Joe. I'm really, no, this isn't a certain question about that, but in that situation, 2-year lease, they're going to have to take cash for keys. No way around it, unless you can break the lease and try to kick them out. But it's really dependent on the situation. You call the actual tenants and see, because you want to work with them. Knowing your market is huge. A mastery of your market is going to be big. It also helps with your rapport. Again, knowing the local sports teams, local high schools around the area. Oh, is that house by, John Smith Park? Those little things just help so much in real estate wholesaling. Logan says, hey, Zach, I commented on your Q&A marathon replay. Loved it so much information. Thank you so much, Logan. I love Port St. Lucie, by the way. Such an amazing little city. It's got like 200, almost 250,000 people in it. Like it's not like a little city anymore. It's exploding like crazy. So it's really one. Love all the New Yorkers that come down here and making the city better and bigger and pumping up those property values. They get a lot of money in New York and they go down south here. Sometimes in Port St. Lucie, just use the money in the city, and it's really helping out a lot. I think it's pretty cool. Liam says your live streams are great. Thank you. Again, I'm not a professional live streamer. I'm not the most polished guy in the world, but I promise you, I'm not the most polished guy in the world. I'm not the slickest talker out there, but what I give you is genuine truth. And honestly, I don't filter anything I say. Now, that could be good, that could be bad. But if I tell you something and I'm truly trying to help you out, I'm not going to filter it out because I got the good stuff in my course. You got to buy my $10,000 course to get it. I'm just going to tell you what works. I'm just like Gary Vee. Gary Vee does a lot of stuff where he talks about, like, he doesn't sell courses because he doesn't want to give out he doesn't want to hide his best stuff. He just wants to give it and just truly help people out. And if you ever read books like The Go Giver, I don't understand how you can read that book and try to sell a course. You just want to give. And I truly believe, we got Tony Robbins' books behind me too, is just the art of giving. And honestly, this goes back to you guys. If you see, someone that just has needs or they're homeless, you just give something, just try to help. And the universe will come back and bless you so many ways. So I try my best here. And honestly, if I was doing this for profit, this would be a 30-minute video and I'd be out of here. And, just profit in and out, punching the clock, trying to make as much money as possible. I do it because I absolutely love it. Like, look me in the eye. I dare any of these people, because hopefully we could start having meetups one day. Look me in the eye and tell me I don't love this stuff. I don't live for real estate wholesaling and helping people out. It's truly one of my passions in life. And honestly, I love talking about it. And unfortunately, just because I love it so much, I rant a lot. So hopefully you guys can cut me off when I do my rantings. Liam says, what's your strategy for direct mail in a extremely competitive real estate wholesaling market? Direct mail is tougher. And my strategy, again, I'm not going to plug this thing forever, but we use this postcard. It's just a regular one, got my company on it, and we literally just give offers on it. And then sometimes we usually just work down the offer with the lady. We get a really good high response rate. And if you want that to, what is the link? I don't think I even have it on here. www.flipwithrick.com/mail, maybe. I don't know. That might be that's probably it. But openlettermarketing.com and just go to Rapid Offer System. That's Rick's postcard he uses. And since he made the postcard, we use it. So Kenny says, astonishing content, Zach. Bring it. I really appreciate it. Paul says, high income, low credit. That's a pretty good list. I'm really curious how you get those type of lists. I know there's some other like data sources. I think GeoPoint does that. I really got to do some more research, guys. I'm so stuck in like my ways of like doing this way. You use listrei.com, go from here, there, but I got to look at it. Let's see here. Next question. Jason asks, with the niche list like water shutoff, student loan, can I pull these off? So the water shutoff list, if this is a podcast, so I don't know. You go to listrei.com. The one thing I will recommend, guys, Jason, if you go on my YouTube channel and scroll down, there was a playlist called PropStream. go there. I'll show you exactly how to pull the water shutoff list and actually how to do utility liens, student loans, and is honestly in the liens in the other category on listrei.com. Also, search. I would go on my YouTube. There's a lot of videos. I'm really sorry, but there's one called "How to Pull the Water Shutoff List," and there's one, and that one will show you how to do it for free, and the other one will show you actually how to do PropStream. But it's usually the other on the tax lien category to help you with the student loan ones. So listrei.com. If you want a free trial, just go below and do the thingy. Uh, do you think virtual is an advantage? So I get this question a lot. I'm really happy you asked this question, Paul, because you really got to think about it like this. Real estate wholesaling, if in an extremely competitive market, you got to think about a lot of things. A lot of people are like, my market's so competitive, I just got to go virtual. Now, for a lot of guys, like I have guys that tell me, Zach, I live in Seattle or I live in Manhattan. Do you think I can wholesale over, Upper East Side or something? I'm like, okay, bro, you need to go to like Atlanta or do something virtual in like Central Georgia. Like do something real rural out there where you don't have a crazy amount of competition. And I mean, there's some guys in my wholesaling houses for real group. Shout out to Joe. Joe's actually on here a lot. Let me pull up Joe. This dude, Joe, he's a competitive market. He does really well in another part of Florida doing virtual. So no knock on him. Like he does that and he does very well doing it. So again, I don't think virtual is an advantage, but I think it gives you a lot more options. And if you're in a crazy competitive market, I would probably go virtual. Again, I go virtual because we kind of have the most market share you possibly can in Port St. Lucie. So we have to venture out. And that's why we do 5 virtual wholesaling markets. So I think virtual gives me advantage. I mean, it gives me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of extra profit because we go virtual. So I think it's an advantage. It adds, it'll hopefully add an extra zero to your profits at the end of the year. So I think virtual is an advantage. I just think you should dominate your local market first, unless you live in San Francisco or Los Angeles. And after that, this world's your oyster. Get really good at your one virtual market and start scaling up from there. That's something I love to do. Jason says, offer PropStream? Yes. So go to my playlist, look at PropStream. There's a niche list one. There's a water shutoff list one. Again, I wish I could absolutely give you I wish I could do another 5 hours. I just don't have enough time. I blocked out all of Monday for a 5.5 hour one. Fortunately, I can't do it. So off of PropStream, they're all the videos on there, and we can get going. And when you say Memphis is saturated, it's on the edge. I'm telling you, there's so many dudes out here in Memphis that are absolutely crushing it. So I'm telling you right now, Memphis is absolutely still an amazing market to do. So yes, it's saturated, but Houston's saturated too. And there's guys making 7 figures in Houston. So I think about it like that. So it's interesting. How do I wholesale with a realtor involved if I don't have EMD? You need to get EMD with your dealing with a realtor. And if it's on the market, you definitely need earnest money. My market is telling me that they're not creating water shutoffs due to eviction moratorium. Is that not the case in other Florida counties? You need to call and request for a FOIA act. And just honestly, Joe, I think I know what county you're talking about. I don't want to reveal it because I don't want everyone to go attack your local market. I'll tell everyone to do good in Port St. Lucie. I'm like, bro, come in my market, compete with me. Do it. I dare you. I mean, we've been here 18 years, so I don't think one extra guy is going to really stop me. So, but I would say you need to figure out in your county, call the utility department, Joe, and ask them if they are doing water shutoffs. Are you shutting people's waters off for delinquency of payment? And if they say yes, then you need to put them in a trap. And you're going to say this next. Well, since you're actually doing that, you should have a list of all the water accounts that you're shutting off, right? Yes. Well, that is public information, and I need that. I do the same thing with my code violations. You want to put them in a trap. So if they say yes to that question of, are you shutting people's waters off for delinquency of payment? Yes or no. Put them in a plate. They got to say yes or no. If they say no, we're not doing it. Our city board has told us we can't. Then we got to wait for this moratorium and stuff to go on. But eviction moratorium and water shutoffs, it's a sticky situation. So I would call the utility department and see. Is boots on the ground always necessary? No. Easy as that. We got a lot of questions, so I'm trying to get through some of them, but that's basically a no. I'm trying to wholesale in California. It's very difficult. DeLon, let me know what part of California. I know guys absolutely crushing it in California. I think Fresno is a really good market over there. Sacramento, Stockton, Central Valley is like really hot right now. SoCal's a little tougher, but you can even go out like in the Inland Empire and still make 7 figures a year. So I think it's sometimes a mindset thing. Best place to pull probate lists from the courthouse. Straight from the horse's mouth as fast as you can. At what point in the process do I ask a buyer for non-refundable as soon as they agree to the price? How long before Derek comes on? Derek canceled, so he won't be on. Let's see here. Thoughts on bandit signs in 2021? I'm in Massachusetts. Bro, Massachusetts is hard. Massachusetts can be a hard one for bandit signs. I would stick to more drawing for dollars and cold calling if I can in that market. Really depends if you're in like a very like suburban or just a very more rural area. Massachusetts, maybe if bandit signs don't get picked up all the time, but I would have to look. My rule of thumb is look for where other real estate wholesalers are doing very well, especially in a competitive market, and try to copy what they're doing. So if really there's like 6-figure guys out there doing bandit signs in your specific county, go do it, right? So that's what I do. Virginia's not, Sean, what's up? Virginia is not a saturated market at all. You can do very well on it. Shout out to my boys out there, Dwight and Robert, and there's so many people there, but really Dwight, Robert, Emily, Jacob, those are some guys I know there out in Virginia. They're doing deals. They're doing very well. So I would say Virginia is not bad at all. If I put a termination fee of $1,000, sellers demanding that, but make it in the special provisions that 20 days after the title is clear, then it'd be safe to have to pay. If I put a termination fee, I mean, if the price is like disgustingly good, then sure. But I usually would never do a termination fee. I've been trying to get my first deal in Southern California. Okay. Really depends. Just figure out where the top wholesalers in your market are doing. Usually Facebook groups is the best way to do it. And then go try to copy what they're doing. That's what I do. Acquisitions and delegating. Acquisitions, I pay them per commission. And delegating, the least possible with the VA. I saw a link to JV with you the other day. Where's that at? I have some good leads and they need some assignment support. Jackson, Mississippi. Sweet. What I would probably do is, let me pull up this link here. So just go to Flipith, www.flipwithrick.com if you want to JV with me. The more competitive the market, the easier it is for me to sell the deal. And then literally what that does, you just fill out the form. It goes straight to my dispo team. And we're not like crazy big operation, but just goes to my dispositions team. And right here, www.flipwithrick.com/JV or /JV with me. Either one of those will work if you want to send me a deal. But you guys, you never have to. Don't feel like you have to. So let's try to get through some of these questions a little faster. Boom, boom, boom. Atlanta in the house. What's up? Dallas, I agree with you. People buy you is in our job to connect. I agree. I find people buy you. It's our job to connect and empathize. Lay Parrot, good job. I 100% agree with you, Kenny. But Lay knows what's up. New Yorkers hate small talk. Get to the points. I'm telling you. I feel like I'm a little New York over here. But yes, 100%. What's up, Zach? Know anything about the Memphis market? Not much. I know some guys absolutely killing it out there. Rick sees guys like wholesaling and making like 10K, put on a contract for like 25, they sell for 35, in and out, a lot of volume for like 10K. That's the most I know about it. I'm in San Diego, saturated. Yes, it is. I would go check out Greg Hellback. He still does $30,000, $40,000 deals in San Diego. So you might say it's saturated, but Greg's out here making more than 6 figures a year in San Diego alone, but he does virtual stuff too. So shout out to Greg. In Atlanta, Georgia, and definitely feel saturated. Love your show and tips. I really appreciate it, D. There's a lot of guys in Atlanta doing really well, though. 6-7 figure guys. So again, if they can do it, you're 100% smarter than them, and you're probably more agile with it. And you'll definitely go niche. So that's what I would do. Geo Point. Everyone in Clubhouse is a wholesaler from Atlanta or Houston. You already know my opinion on Clubhouse. Rick coined the term. It's Coach House. Everyone tries to sell you their course on there. They'll give a little bit of value, but the problem is you can't search that value out. So if you're having a situation where you're like, how do I deal with this competitive market? You can't go on Clubhouse and find one. You can go on YouTube, go on my channel, and it'll be absolutely the best. So that's what I did. Hey, Zach, love the content. It's a good way to pivot a lead that is asking too high for a wholesale, but is still below market value. List or just try to weigh them out to put the price down. That's what I would do. See, Jordan, what's up? Keep killing it, bro. Thank you so much. What is your main marketing channel? Direct mail. Will we be doing another Q&A in the future? I missed the last one. Yes, I probably will, but probably not another 5.5 hour one. Maybe I'll do one, but definitely when we hit, the 5,000 subscribers, 10,000, 20, 50, 100,000, we'll do some pretty big 8-hour ones. But yeah, just keep subscribing. And once we hit the next milestone, we'll do another huge one. So definitely do some holiday ones though. July 4th. That's probably the next one I'm thinking. Maybe Valentine's Day one. Who knows? So Seattle is super saturated. I agree. Let's see here. I'm in Miami, super saturated. There's still deals to be made. I'm telling you, there's plenty of deals to be made in Miami. I'm using bandit signs and secondary markets are better for sure, 100%. Barbara, the GOAT here on the chat here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. You are absolutely amazing, Barbara. Let me get some water really quick. But guys, you're absolutely amazing. Guys, remember, like this video, share it, subscribe. It helps us so much. It'll help you. Gotta get my water in. By the way, great example, rolling with it as your guest canceled. We got Zach full throttle. Oh boy, I don't think you guys can handle me for every single week. You guys get annoyed with me every single day. So simply got to bring a guest on here. So Paul says, my market in Akron and the spreads are low. Should I go to a closer market in Columbus? I think Akron's not that. The spreads are lower, but you do a lot more volume of deals. So again, look at the revenue at the end of the day, and you can do still pretty well with it. So I would say just it's definitely a tough one. But why would you go to a more competitive market if you have a pretty good market with plenty of deals there? So I would stay in Akron if I were you. Do you recommend text blast or ringless voicemail? If you're not in Florida, then yes. What companies? Below here, batch leads, use code ZACH at 50% off. But that's what I would recommend with that. RVM wise, I think REI Reply has one. REI Rail. I'm not the RVM guy because I'm not going to get a $50,000 fine like most guys do in Florida. Unfortunately, that's how it works in Florida. RVMs are 100% legal. There is case study after case study for legals terms that show you how bad it is. So it's still in a competitive market. I'm not going to do it. Let's see here. Alrighty. So when wholesaling, do you have to attend the closing? I have a 9 to 5 and wouldn't be able to attend the closing. There's no special date. You can go in Saturday. No, sometimes they're off the weekends. Sometimes you can go closing at 9 a.m. Sometimes you go to closing at 5 p.m. Like really, some title companies will do on the weekend. You can actually do mail away closings. No, what I do is once you get the deal, when you're vetting your title company, really ask them, hey, I work a 9 to 5 job. What can I do to still get the closing done if I can't be here from 9 to 5? And usually they'll give you some suggestions and they'll help you pretty well with that. Zach, what are your feelings about foreclosure niches? Foreclosures, no. Pre-foreclosures, yes. That's what I say. Pre-foreclosures, absolute killer. For subject twos, they're absolutely amazing, guys. So that's definitely what I would recommend. And one thing here, if you guys want my free wholesaling mastermind, I go live every Friday at 6:15 with everyone in the mastermind. It's a $10,000 mastermind. And it's a free wholesaling course. I put a free wholesaling course together on there. Again, I'm not a guru. I make fun of people that make courses, but again, I make fun of people that sell courses, not the ones that make them. You can make them, but selling them is a different story. So I literally I thought let me make a $4,000 wholesaling course, and then let me try to create my own little mastermind, because I feel like everyone does masterminds. And what stops the average person from joining a mastermind, even though they're pretty good, it's like 10, 15 grand. And literally the only person that makes the money on there is the guy who runs the mastermind. He just puts it all in his pocket, and then he just puts the people in the room, they talk, and they do all the magic. So how do I create that magic and just do it for free? And we have the power of the internet. So literally, I have a free wholesaling mastermind. We all connect. We see what's going good on there. You got seven-figure wholesalers like me. You got other seven-figure guys in there. You got six-figure guys in there. You got five-figure guys. You got four-figure guys. You got zero-figure guys and gals in there. So it's a lot of people that are up the top who like to help people on the bottom, just trying to learn and just absorb information. It's a great mastermind. We make each other a lot better together. And the cool part about that one, guys, is I don't allow any links. You can't, there's three rules in this mastermind. There's no selling allowed. You can't be selling. You can only collaborate and provide value. Number two is there's no gurus allowed. No gurus are allowed. If you sell courses and stuff, you might be able to come in the group, but if you start being a guru and you start telling people or DMing people to buy my course in the wholesaling, you get kicked out. I kick out probably 5 gurus every single week. Almost a guru a day I kick out of that group because they post a stupid link trying to sell their stuff. So no gurus are allowed in that group. And then lastly is you have to provide value. And most importantly, in that mastermind, you have to give more than you receive. And usually a lot of guys don't do any deals, and it's hard for them to do it, but I always give them a break. But that's that link everyone looks on the bottom. It's also the fastest growing Facebook group for wholesaling. Pretty cool. So I already answered that question. You heard the man. Subscribe. Thank you so much. Actually, add 3. Look at my YouTube analytics the other day. It's like 60% of these people are lurking on this channel. Like they watch it, but they don't subscribe, which drives me crazy. But if you want, subscribe maybe. I'm not going to beg for it, but I'm literally giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of content that overall in those, almost 300 videos that we have. Mastermind courses. It's absolutely amazing. So that's what I do. Postcards are handwritten mail postcards. How would you wholesale a seller finance deal? You give it to a cash buyer and see if they're willing to buy a seller finance. And usually they'll probably know what it is and they're okay with it. And so same thing with subject to. Make sure they're educated enough to understand seller finance, and they'll be all over buying one. The ROIs are absolutely amazing on it. If anyone's crushing it in Boston, let me know. Good help is hard to find, hence the term mass holes. That's nice. I love it. The champ have title send a mobile notary to your 9-to-5 job, or unless you don't want the boss to see you, but be careful. But thank you. So I appreciate it, guys. So let me know if you guys like these little solo podcasts. I think they're interesting. So it's cool to hear me rant for a little bit, but most people don't like hearing me rant forever. So I really appreciate you guys. Honestly, you guys giving me the support just helps me and Rick, just keeps us going on this business. So you got the wholesalers keeping us down, and you guys bring us up. So I truly appreciate you guys actually supporting me. So thank you guys so much. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share this to as many people as you want. And that's basically it. Nothing is going to stop me. Even if a guest will cancel on me, I don't care. I will literally do a podcast every single week. This is, guys, you probably didn't know this, but this is the longest running live wholesaling podcast on YouTube. Think about that for a second. You go comment whatever podcast you want. Post whatever podcast you want. There's not one podcast that consistently does a live show about wholesaling, basically weekly or bi-weekly. Let's just say bi-weekly or monthly. Like there's not one podcast that does it as long as I've been doing it. And I'm 21 years old. So think about that for a second. So this is the longest running live wholesaling podcast on YouTube. So I really appreciate it. I'm not going to let a guest canceling stop this train from running. We're going to do it. We're doing a video a day. So I kind of had this, I literally do a video a day, and I promised you guys I would do a video a day every single day. And since I had a guest here and they canceled, I had that time blocked out for that podcast. So what am I going to do? Just renege on my promise on you guys? I'm going to do a video a day? I'm not going to let that. I promised you guys a video a day of high quality wholesaling content, and I will do it. I don't care if I go live here at 5 o'clock every single day if I have to. You guys will be getting a video every single day from me, high quality, guru quality-esque every single day. I promise you guys. So I truly appreciate it, guys. Some quick thoughts, I guess, from people. Any San Antonio buyers, hit my boy up. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Roland says Zach badmouths gurus every chance he gets. I love it. I'm telling you, Roland, I don't like the badmouth gurus, but gurus, in my opinion, they steal thousands of dollars from new real estate wholesalers. And honestly, those thousands of dollars these newer guys can spend on their marketing, and they could make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they're really stealing from the downtrodden wholesaler that's just starting out. And I've been there. I've been a broke 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid. Actually, I was never broke at 18. Broke 17-year-old kid, not knowing what to do. And people tell me, gurus tell me, you need to buy my $5,000 course. That obviously probably might have destroyed my wholesaling career. So I'm not going to, I'll badmouth a guru if they try to do that to somebody else and stopping their dreams. So that's it, guys. I truly appreciate it. I'm getting a lot of great comments on here. I absolutely just blessed to have it. Snap Realty asks about a amortization. How soon can I refinance seller out and get cashed out? When getting owner finance from seller for 3-year term balloon 30, how soon can I refinance? Honestly, I got to look at the deal and see it. It's really dependent on the terms of the contract, and there's more nuances to that than you can do in 2 sentences, unfortunately. The champ says, I've texted, cold called my leads, and I've gotten a few responses. Should I go ahead and send direct mail? If so, how many contacts? I don't like to do direct mail unless I'm starting to just roll in the dough on cold calling and SMS and really start to really scale it up. So make sure you master and you're getting consistent deals from texting and cold calling, then get direct mail. That's what I would do. You're awesome. Thank you for all the content. Subscriber for life. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you guys watching and coming on the podcast. You guys are part of the podcast. You are my guest today on the podcast. So I truly appreciate you guys coming on, and can't wait to see you guys next week. We have a killer coming on the podcast next week. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. So thank you guys so much. Video day coming at you. God bless.